Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we're going to talk 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, Season 7, Episode 3, Don't Take Me For Granted. So, not much excitement went down in this episode, which is, I'm fine with that. I need a little break from the excitement. But we're just going to get right into it. We've seen a lot of certain couples and not much of certain other ones that we normally see. So I'm going to start with Kimberly and Usman. So Kimberly is deciding to go back to Nigeria to meet up with Usman so they could plan to get his mom's blessing and stuff and all of that and try to work out the second wife agreement or whatever. So Kimberly is on her way to the airport. Her son Jamal takes her to the airport, and they're listening to one of Usman's songs. Kimberly is so obsessed with Usman, and it's kind of scary a little bit. But she loves him. She loves him. She has his music. She got him a T-shirt that has her picture on it. Just a lot of gifts and stuff. And Jamal was just like, when he heard Usman's song, it was just like, okay, not too bad. I mean, if he's doing his thing, then so be it. So Kimberly lands in Nigeria. Usman's waiting on her at the airport with some stuffed animals and stuff. And, they go back to the hotel. They have their little romantic evening. They just wanted to enjoy their time together. They talked about how they wanted to, get their groove on and stuff, but, they both fell asleep. So yeah, not much went down with them, but, the big topics of discussion is going to be the deal about the second wife thing for Usman, because Usman wants to have kids, and since Kimberly is older, she can't have kids right now. She can't have kids anymore, actually. So, Usman may have to take a second wife, and so he can become a father and stuff. And that is common in Nigerian culture, but obviously it's not common, or actually even legal here in America. So Usman and Kimberly said that, with the second wife, I don't want her to be, and when I come to Nigeria to see you, I don't want to see her. I don't want them to be in the same city. I don't want to be in the same city as her or whatever and stuff. And, Usman had like a little, he was just like, I don't know about that. Just kind of questioning it. I mean, I feel like that conversation is going to really blow up. It's going to really blow up. But nonetheless, they got a lot to discuss. But, Kimberly's in Nigeria now. She met up with Usman, so far, good start. They just want to have a night of relaxing before all the intense things come down. And judging by the previews of the next episode, it's going to really go down with them. Next I want to talk is Jovi and Yara. So Jovi and Yara, so last week, it was revealed that I guess like Jovi and his mom Gwen and Yara all had a fallout. I guess that, ever since Yara got pregnant and had her baby, Jovi's mom Gwen has been like there for the baby and there for Yara a lot, especially when Jovi goes to work for a couple months and comes back. And like Jovi's mom is just like the greatest grandmother. Like, she's there all the time. She'll do anything she can. She'll even go on their vacations with them to watch the baby and stuff. Jovi's mom is great. But, I guess they had a fallout. I guess Jovi told his mom, yelled at his mom because she wasn't doing enough for Yara and the baby. And I'm just like, when I heard him say that, I was like, wait a minute, this woman has done so much for you just on camera. I mean, I don't know what happens off the camera, like behind the scenes, but judging by how it's been on camera, she's done a lot. So why in the world would he go after his mom like that and say that she is not taking care of Yara and the baby? It's really not her duty. She's a grandmother, yes, but those are the parents. Those are the parents, and if Jovi wants to be around much, he should get a new job that doesn't require him to be gone for a month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, and then home for a month and then back on the road. With somebody who comes here from a foreign country and gets pregnant and stuff. I mean, that's just my opinion. You know, yes, Yara knew what she signed up for, but you know, Jovi is not being reasonable here. You know, maybe his job is a great job and is providing for him and the family, but you know, when that becomes an issue, that's going to put a damper in the marriage, and it's putting a damper with the whole family and stuff. So I just don't understand why he got in his mom's face and yelled at her like that, and they had to fall out like that. And Yara even had mentioned, you know, she said in Ukrainian culture, you know, the grandmothers are like there all the time, like nonstop, kind of like the mother and stuff. You know, I mean, and it's fine because, you know, grandparents are like that, but, you know, you got to know your role to an extent, because Jovi and Yara are the actual parents, you know. Yara's mom and Jovi's mom are the grandparents. And, you know, of course, they want to be in the baby's life or whatever and want to be there all the time. But again, to an extent, where it doesn't get to the point where the grandparents are taking care of the kid more than the parents. Because then that just shows the parents, what are they doing? So they all meet up at a yacht and stuff to talk about it. Jovi apologizes to his mom, and his mom forgave him, whatever, cool. Later in the episode, they're back at Jovi and Yara's apartment, and Jovi comes in with some mail. And it was a mail from, like, you know, the U.S. citizen's place or whatever. And Yara finally has her green card interview. So she's all excited because she hasn't been able to travel since she's been in America because she doesn't have her green card yet. But she finally have her green card interview. And, you know, they did some practice questions of, like, what's my favorite color? And Yara said some kind of color. It's like, I forget. It started with the B. It was really different, like birdie, or birdie, or something like that. I had never heard of that before. I had to look that up. I'll look that up here in a few. But yeah, you know, Jovi mentioned to Yara, but you got to be careful with these questions because they are going to look for any reason to fail you, which is true. You know, when you come to these green card interviews or these K-1 visa interviews, they're going to look for any possible reason to fail you. So you got to be on alert at all times. But Yara's all excited, so she goes to a coffee shop. She calls her mom and tells her mom she got her interview. Her mom's excited for her, and they're preparing. You know, Yara wants to go back to the Ukraine, but we're just right in the beginning, where this was filmed. This is right in the beginning of the Ukrainian-Russia war. So, you know, and I feel like that's coming. That's coming. So, you know, Gwen wasn't happy when Yara said that because this is just not the right time. And, yeah, this is right before the war started. So, you know, and Yara, and I found on social media that Yara is on the western side. Yara's family's on the western side of Ukraine where it's the safest. But, you know, it's still, you know, a dangerous situation. So we're going to see how that goes. But I'm happy for Yara to finally get her green card interview. I hope it goes well for her and stuff. So that was them. Next I want to talk is Jenny and Cement. Now, we only seen one scene from Jenny and Cement in this episode. They just, you know, Jay just made up from their little fight. Remember what happened last week? Cement told the parents that he's married. You know, they flipped out. And they just gotta, so then, and then after they told the parents, they had a big screaming match, and you know, and Cement feels that Jenny should be more supportive in that situation, and Jenny was just like, you know, I want to be supportive, but you know, they just don't like me, and I knew that was a bad idea, but I'm sorry that I yelled at you, you know. And Cement was like, I'm sorry too, you know, and whatever. And you know, Jenny was also upset that Cement ran after his parents after that. So that was all we see for Jenny and Cement. Not much went down, so we'll see how it comes out in the next couple of weeks with them. Next is Bilal and Shida. So they also only had one scene. So last week, as we all know, Bilal and Shida, they met up with Shahida, and Shahida got into it, and it was really entertaining. and Bilal sat there and did nothing. So, this episode, Bilal's laying in bed. Shida brings him breakfast in bed. And Bilal was just like in a calm voice, Shida, you really disappointed me yesterday. You did not give her a chance to speak. This is not. Shida's like, well, I'm dealing with a bully here. And, Bilal was just like, you can't like you have to really control that, because one, he was upset that happened in public, and two, if it's not her, it's gonna be somebody else or something else later. So I feel like he was wrong to blame Shida for that. He should have blamed Shahida, because Shahida got really defensive really quick. So to blame Shida, I don't know. That scene just makes me realize that, people already have something against Bilal anyway. Now people are going to hate him even more after that scene. So I think that it is unfair for him to blame Shida for that, where he should have been blaming Shahida for that. So, nonetheless, that was all we saw from them. Like, Shida did apologize. They gave each other a hug. Big deal. So, whatever. Next up, I want to talk is Angela and Michael. I'm sorry, guys. My phone keeps going off. Next I want to talk is Angela and Michael. So we met Angela for the first time this season on this episode. Angela and Michael, I don't really need to do a full recap of their story. This is their 6th season on 90 Day Fiancé. They've been on 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days in season 2 and 3. They were on 90 Day Fiancé season 7. And Happily Ever After for seasons 5, 6, and 7. So this is their 6th season on 90 Day Fiancé, the most out of any couple in the history. And, Michael's from Nigeria. And 2 years ago, right before COVID broke, Angela and Michael got married in Nigeria and then applied for the spousal visa. And COVID and waiting 2 years, Michael still has not gotten his freaking spousal visa. Don't know what's going on with that, but we all know it's just concerning. But in the meantime, so they have to be married long distance, especially during the pandemic. So Angela and Michael, they fight all the time. Angela is always thinking Michael's cheating or doing something shady. This episode was revealed. It started out with Angela at a yoga, taking a yoga class, and then she had a nice little discussion with her yoga instructor. And she said that her husband's being shady, but I guess Michael had reactivated his Instagram, which Angela doesn't like, because him and Angela share Instagram, and they agreed to share Instagram because she don't want Michael to have his own Instagram because he's cheated and lied before. And so he reactivated his Instagram and blocked Angela. And I guess he's been messaging Angela saying that, send me money and I'll take it down. And she's calling that shady. So she's irritated. She went to her lawyer to discuss it. And, it turned into, her lawyer said, we got to this is not a therapy session. I'm just your lawyer for the for the visa and your marriage and stuff, but I'm not your therapist, because Angela's becoming a little bit too graphic of what she was not getting out of her relationship and stuff. And so she talked to her lawyer. Her lawyer was like, we could pull the visa, but Angela's like, I want to wait. We got this far and stuff. So whatever. Now she's complaining about Michael being shady. Angela's doing something shady herself. She video chats this guy that she does TikTok dances with. His name is Billy, and he's from Canada. And she when she answers the calls him, she's like, there's that sexy baby. And he's just like, hey, Angel. And they have a nice little conversation. And Angel's like, what do you think of me coming to Canada? And he's like, oh, Angel, I would love that. Please come and all that. I don't think she really is, but just that scene just makes me realize Angela is a really big hypocrite and stuff, and she is no angel herself. So the way she treats Michael, this is complete vengeance. So, Angela's starting to get really upset about it, but, she said she had to turn to other people for support because Michael hasn't been giving her much support lately, you know. And, I feel like with Michael, maybe he hasn't, but I just think that he's tired of being bullied by Angela all the time, so he's finally sticking up for himself. I don't agree with his method, what he's doing right now, but I understand because he's just tired of it with Angela, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of fireworks throughout the season with them. So, yeah, that was Angela and Michael. Last I want to talk about is Big Ed and Liz. So, Big Ed and Liz. So, last week, Ed ended his relationship with his best friend, Rich, for Liz. He comes back to the house. Liz is in bed crying because she was like, every time Ed meets up with Rich, they always break up. But this time, Ed was just like, I choose you over him. I guess he was my best friend, but I'm choosing you over him. So, Liz is happy about that. So then they go up and meet up with one of Liz's friends, and I think his name was Barry, and they discuss her and Ed's relationship. I guess Ed hasn't met him before. Ed, Liz's friend Barry was just like, just take care of her and all that, whatever. Talked about, the past concerns and whatever. So big deal, no biggie. So the meeting went okay. Now it gets to a scene that I'm sure everyone's going to talk about and blame Ed for. So Ed is a photographer, and he had to take some nice pictures with Liz's friend Alex. And when you're a photographer, you have to say some things like, "Hey, pose like this, show me something sexy, do this, do that." That's what a photographer says. Well, Liz went with him to take the pictures, and she wanted to learn a little bit about photography and stuff. Now, at this point, Ed is kind of working, and he was treating Liz like a student rather than his fiancé. This is one of the situations where you're going to have to put your work life aside from your personal life. And, Liz was trying to learn. Ed was just saying, you got to do this, this, and that, and everything. And they were looking at one of her pictures, and Liz had made a comment that her friend Alex didn't have a neck in one of her pictures. Now that really irritated Ed because people make fun of his, not him, having a neck. And I'm like, I'm with Ed on that one because I think that is a sensitive thing to talk about. So I'm with Ed on that one. So they just got a little disagreement, a little bickering back and forth. So Liz left, and Ed just finished up with the girl. Now, I'm sure everybody on social media is going to attack Ed and said Ed is flirting with this girl, pay more attention to this girl than Liz. It's going to be a whole big Ed bashing. I'm not thinking of it like that, and I'm not going to do a big Ed bashing. I think they were on the job. He was working, but I do agree that you need to separate your work life and your personal life. So, Liz feels some type of way because she felt like he was being a father rather than a fiance. And we're going to see the continuation of that next week. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, guys, not much went down in this episode. I'm glad we had a nice little break. We did not see, thank God, Elizabeth and Andre in this episode. I was kind of glad because I couldn't deal, I needed a break from all the bickering and screaming and the fighting and the whatevers from them, so we'll see how everything plays out with them next week. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll be back on tomorrow to recap the Single Life. I'm going to watch the Single Life today, recap it tomorrow, and I'll post that for you guys tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.